What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Spider-Man 2 and everything we know so far ever since the last video. If you missed the last video, be sure you go back to the channel and watch it. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure you hit the subscribe. We're like 4 away from 300. It would mean a lot. So go ahead and hit the like and subscribe below this video, and let's jump right in. So today we're going to be watching some videos and getting some live reacts on some new trailers, some new leaks, and some new announcements that Marvel and Insomniac and IGN have made. I have not seen these videos. I have not read these articles. So we're going to react to it in this video. So starting off, some big things to note about this new Spider-Man game, if you're on PlayStation, is that it will require 98 gigabytes free space, and that is pretty large. And on PS5 you have 825 and a little bit less available for download, around 665 free space available for download. So on top of all your game and save data, this game might take up a lot, so you might want to free up some space, but that just means this game is going to be huge. We heard that the map of New York is going to be twice as big. We're going to look into that and check it out. All right, starting off, we're going to jump into expanded Marvel's New York. This should show how big the map is going to be. So let's see. Let's read the description. Marvel Spider-Man 2 Senior Creative Director Brian narrates a first look at a newly expanded Marvel's New York and what you can expect from its next-gen open world gameplay. All right, here we go. First look, expanded Marvel's New York.
This is Brian Intihar, Senior Creative Director at Insomniac Games. Thank you for all of your amazing feedback to our demo at the showcase earlier this year. Marvel Spider-Man 2 is filled with an amazing story and story missions. But today I'm here to provide you with a first look at how the open world experience
So this is like a narrate
and how the game is built to take full advantage of the PlayStation 5. The first thing you'll notice is that our city has nearly doubled in size with the addition of 2 iconic New York boroughs, Queens and Brooklyn. And we've introduced the web wings, an entirely new mechanic that, when combined with web swinging, allows you to traverse the city in a whole new way and at faster speeds than ever before.
Oh, gonna be a lot faster.
Of Queens or the fireworks that light up the
That's
sky
so sick.
of Coney Island. Exploring these areas will feel much different than the towering skyscrapers of Manhattan, while also delivering
you'll be able to cross the bridge.
Parker's old stomping grounds in Midtown High,
in the last
Morales' current place of learning,
Spider-Man, we weren't able to cross that bridge.
What's up?
Speaking of our heroes, Marvel Spider-Man 2 will introduce the ability to switch between the 2 wall crawlers in the open world, and thanks to the power of the PlayStation 5, you can make that switch almost instantly. Delivering a bigger city and playing as not 1 but 2 spider heroes were big goals for Marvel Spider-Man 2. But this time around, it was equally important to provide a greater sense of exploration and discovery. As you progress through the main story, a number of new activities and storylines will become available. The majority of those will now be represented by visual cues in the world that grab your attention, such as a flock of Kraven's Talon drones circling a building, a mysterious symbol projected into the sky, or even an unfamiliar Spider-Bot ping emitting from one of the rooftops.
Heck yeah.
Like the hunter's cloaked blinds that overlook the Big Apple, lead to even greater challenges, yet yield worthy rewards and new information about Marvel's greatest hunter, Kraven. Others will lead to a climactic showdown with Marvel villains not yet seen in this Spider-Man universe. The Spider Heroes have new AR tech in the lenses of their masks, providing a quick glimpse of activities already discovered, or helping locate new ones yet to be revealed. You can always refer to the
It's gonna be a lot easier to navigate
to quickly track nearby areas of interest. The app will also include incoming requests from those who call Marvel's New York home. Some will ask for either spider hero to help, while others, like the students of Brooklyn Visions calling upon Miles, will require you to put on the mask of a specific hero. All these activities, including crimes you stop from the game's various
this is like
also now feed into the new district
your side
system,
quest,
which even provides more rewards and unlocks our brand new fast travel system. As you can see here, the PlayStation 5 and its SSD means you can move across the city with very little downtime. Finally, the more city you explore and the more activities you complete,
the loading screens are very minimal.
Customize your spider hero. This includes mastering additional
PlayStation killing the game,
acquiring and improving gadgets, upgrading through the new suit tech system, and of course, unlocking additional spider suits. And we're talking lots and lots of suits. Marvel Spider-Man 2 will feature over 65 suits.
65 suits.
Designs.
65.
All new suit style system. You'll
That's
now have more
crazy.
Than 200 different ways to outfit your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. On behalf of
That's
Insomniac
sick.
Games, we couldn't be more excited about what this expanded city has to offer. and all the new ways you'll experience Marvel's New York. We look forward to seeing you swinging around in Marvel Spider-Man 2 when it launches October 20th, only on PlayStation 5.
Okay, E-Wave Streaks. October 20th, PS5. Be there, be square. Let's go. Yes, sir. So that was a look at like the side quest basically, and how the main map has expanded. And here we have a digital deluxe trailer. Let's check it out. Five unique suits. Hold on, what did that say? Digital deluxe suits. 5 unique suits for Peter. Okay, so you get a lot of extras on the digital deluxe edition. This is all your extras. The tactical suit. Aranta Stone Monkey. Oh, these are pretty sick. So these suits are only available if you get the digital deluxe. Those are cool. 5 unique suits for Miles. That suit's pretty sick. The blue one? There it is, right here. Okay, I think we also looked at this in the last video, but this is a little bit more in depth. We have a tactical suit, Arantia, 25th century suit, Stone Monkey suit, Apocalyptic, Tokusatsu, Biomechanical, Encoded, Red Spectre. That one's pretty sick. And then the Agimat. You have some bonus digital content, additional photo mode items, skill points, and early unlock suits, Peter and Miles. Those are like assassin suits. A web grabber gadget, and some more skill points. Available October 20th. Pre-order now. Nice. 1 day ago, 400,000 views. Let's see. So this is Spider-Man 2, the first hands-on preview. Spider-Man 2 takes everything Insomniac learned from its previous 2 Spider-Man games and finds new ways to raise the bar of superhero game design. No frame is left untouched. Alright. Whoa. That's
Marvel's Spider-Man 2 takes everything Insomniac learned from its previous 2 Spider-Man games and finds new ways to raise the bar of superhero game design.
That websuit is crazy.
Untouched. No character model is left with subpar lighting. Simply put, after playing for 3 hours, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 looks set to continue Insomniac's winning streak.
Hey Doc, ready for your
So that's what I just read.
We were dropped a ways into the game on level 25 versions of Miles Morales and Peter Parker. Each is dealing with their own difficulties in life, with Peter trying to pay a mortgage and help cure his friend's disease, while Miles is simply trying to write his college essay, but spider business keeps distracting him from the task at hand.
Craven. How many more people are on this guy's list?
Besides the personal battles being fought by Peter and Miles, there are also other factors at play that will push them further to the edge.
That's the
Parker
trailer.
is donned a symbiote suit known as Venom, and it's affecting his personality in ways he doesn't realize.
We're going to heal the world.
And Craven is doing everything he can to upset the peace by attacking Peter and forcing Dr. Connors to transform into an even more powerful version of his alter ego, the Lizard. The Dr. Connors storyline is particularly bittersweet, as you're really hunting down a father who wants nothing more than to return to his family, but now he'll be doing so with a few Spider-Man and Craven inflicted injuries. This fight will actually take you across a large portion of New York City that Insomniac boasts is 2 times larger than the
you
previous
go
games.
through the building
Taking full
there?
advantage of the PS5, Spider-Man 2 will allow you to travel across the city faster than ever, not only because of the zippy new web-slinging animations, but also
The
because
wetsuit.
of the web wings that you can access at any time with the press of the triangle button. Web wings are a lot of fun to use versus swinging, but they will lose momentum over time, so you will need to use your webs unless you're in a wind tunnel. The wind tunnels will let you go to specific places in the city extremely fast by flying incredibly quickly to that destination on the air currents. But in addition to all these traversal
So
options,
you're gonna
Insomniac
have
showed that
down
you can also
momentum.
simply swap to Peter or Miles on the fly instantaneously,
Or the wind tunnel.
a la swapping between Trevor, Franklin, and Michael in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Marvel's Spider-Man 2 will introduce the ability to switch between the 2 wall crawlers in the open world, and thanks to the power
Miles
of
and
PlayStation
Peter,
5,
you can like
make that
switch
almost
immediately.
instantly.
I had the opportunity to ask the Insomniac team about how the PS5 SSD allowed them to accomplish instant travel and faster web swinging. Mike Fitzgerald, core technology director at Insomniac, clarified a few other details, including the fact that the slingshots where Peter or Miles will pull back on 2 extended webs and catapult themselves forward allows Spider-Man to travel 3 times faster than in the first game.
What?
And that
So they have
characters are more detailed
slingshots?
and lifelike that help them tell better, more nuanced stories.
That's crazy.
Insomniac also noted that the DualSense controller is being used in some unique ways, like a minigame that we got to play in the reactor that will force you to pull the triggers with just enough pressure to move on to the next segment. And they outlined that the audio team took the time to develop the soundscapes for missions so that 3D audio can be fully utilized. Ambisonics and positional audio were used for objects in the scene, making for a more realistic audio experience, making for clearer indications of the player versus a target location.
I'm the only one who...
More
PlayStation
notably, on the graphic
different.
side of things, Spider-Man 2
PlayStation
will only have 2
different.
visual modes, visual and performance. The third mode was removed because no matter which you choose, ray tracing will be turned on by default. The baseline for performance mode will be what was previously referred to as performance ray tracing mode, with a better frame rate and resolution simply because the PS5 can handle it. Fitzgerald clarifies, there's no mode in this game that has the ray tracing turned off because there's really no need for it. We figured out how to deliver what is the right Spider-Man picture and visuals, and we want to make sure every player is seeing that. The visuals of Spider-Man 2 are impressive. The character models are more expressive when delivering their lines, resulting in more believable performances from the actors that will in turn do a better job of pulling at your heartstrings. The ray-traced reflections add more depth and realism to the world. Breakable environmental additions make it feel like you've succeeded in unleashing havoc in an area after a devastating combo. But my favorite improvement in Spider-Man 2 is the heavily reworked combat. Now, both Peter and Miles have a wide array
that
of
symbiote
abilities
suit
and gadgets at their disposal.
is
but more
incredible.
on that in a moment. While I was
That's
exploring
wild.
the open world, there were several different mission types to see, meaning that yet again we will have no shortage of side missions to get lost in. Personally, I will always favor the combat arenas, and I spent so much time enjoying them that I lost track of time.
Tons of
and
side
never got
quests.
to experience the aforementioned lizard boss fight for myself.
Tons of side quests.
I was too busy trying to perfect my combat skills in the arena, gawking at the ray-traced reflections on everything, staring in awe at the sheer amount of traffic, pedestrians, and puddles in every scene, or stopping an assault in progress as it popped up on the minimap.
Those wind tunnels are clutch.
That was the best part. New York is covered in cool things to do as Spider-Man, and while I could have pursued the main storyline with my limited time, I was just having too much fun doing all the other little things that pulled my attention away. Insomniac also noted that there will be missions that only Miles or Peter can complete, so it sounds like
Downloading.
my quest to clear the map is going to be filled with variety. But to dive into combat a bit more, the enemy density is really ramped up and will sometimes offer you a bit more of a challenge than you may expect. In Spider-Man, you could maybe get away with using your main attacks, but in Spider-Man 2, I found that more often than not, I absolutely needed to use my Venom abilities and gadgets in the combat sections. The one small critique I have is that the new not
But that's
dodgeable
good.
parry indicator color is red, and that's the same color as other things you need to dodge, like a bullet from a rooftop sniper. It took a bit of getting used to, but by the end of my demo window, I was parrying and unleashing my gadgets and Venom.
It keeps you active and moving.
And before getting
Using
into
all the
combat, if you're
features.
still undetected, you can use web lines to traverse a battlefield, and I love the layer this adds as you're taking out enemies in the stage.
Oh, the web line? So you don't have to like
Gadget-wise, we only had access
walk
to the web
where
grabber,
they
which
make
we've
you.
seen
You know what I
before,
mean?
Upshot, which
That's
would attack
cool.
opponents with bursts of electricity. Miles also had access to Venom abilities like Chain Lightning, Power Overwhelming, or the Venom Smash Jolt. Those attacks and gadgets are very easy to execute by simply holding L1 for Venom abilities or R1 for fast gadget access, and that makes combat incredibly fluid. It will also force players to pick and choose the strongest combinations of 8 to pair together as you patrol the streets of Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens.
Right.
We also got a look at the symbiote Surge. Basically, Peter goes into rage mode a la God of War and wrecks everything in the vicinity. There's a cooldown on it, just like rage mode in God of War. So
We have
after
to
you've
save him.
attacked everybody for a little bit, the timer will wear out, and you'll have
Peter.
to rely on your core abilities. The cherry on top of an already impressive gameplay session was when they let us get a sneak peek at some of the new costumes that Peter and Miles will be able to wear when web slinging around the city. In total, Insomniac says there are 65 suits to unlock, and that each has different variations, bringing the grand total to 200 different combinations you can wear. In the build, we saw Miles had a 2099, 10th anniversary, Borakua, an encoded suit, while Peter had the classic black suit, web black suit from the Sam Raimi films, Secret Wars Civil War suit, and a punkalyptic suit available for wearing. And for the suit tech upgrades, your classic health, damage, focus, and traversal perks were available, with the latter option focusing on things like web speed with your web wings. I had high hopes for Spider-Man 2, and this preview did nothing to stifle my optimism. I cannot wait to see what the rest of Spider-Man
That's
2
what we
has
like
say.
to hear.
For our final thoughts, swing on back to IGN when Spider-Man 2 launches this October.
Let's go. This October. Classic. How Spider-Man 2 showcases the PS5's power. Let's begin.
Satellite network to track his targets. Oh, you're not getting away that easy.
For us, this is really a culmination of everything we've learned about developing for this console. We did Spider-Man Remastered, Miles Morales, and Ratchet and Clank, and so as our fourth title for the PS5, we've really gotten to leverage everything we've seen in developing those games. Our performance mode for this title has ray tracing on by default. We've really expanded that ray trace reflections throughout the game. It's on the water and the oceans and really gives a more realistic picture everywhere. We of course use the SSD and the storage solution on the console to really even more affect gameplay wise. You know, in the first couple Spider-Man games, we really used it to get rid of the loading screens, but now you see it getting used to offer faster traversal through the world. When you come off those slingshots in the open world, I think you're going about 3 times as fast.
Hopefully it won't have like a 4-hour download. Hopefully it'll be pretty quick. We'll see.
I mean, on top of that,
That's
we
the
have
real
characters
test.
that are more detailed and lifelike that help us tell better, more nuanced stories.
We also have the DualSense with the haptics, and that adds a layer of immersion that is really awesome that we get to play with. So you saw in our demo in the particle accelerator having to hit that sweet spot. In addition, all of our cool audio technology, 3D audio, so you get to hear iconic Tony Todd Venom.
I wonder if that has to do with the
It's really like the first time we heard
adaptive
that
triggers.
performance was really something really great.
We're going to kill.
I think I have mine turned off.
How we decide to render things
We'll see.
is we like to have our resolution be dynamic, and then we have a pretty robust temporal anti-aliasing solution that lets us scale that up and down, do different dithering effects with materials and things in the scene. And what that means is we get to take the player's preference about how they want to play the game, and also make sure we use all the features of their display in the console as well. So whether you like playing at 60 frames per second or 30 or 40, if you have a 120 hertz TV, we really get to tailor everything to best utilize that. For those titles, we had fidelity mode, which had which was like the full 4K and ray trace reflections, and then we had a performance mode, which turned the ray tracing off and rendered at a lower resolution. And then we were able to add, I think around launch, if not just after, the performance RT mode, as we called it, which was trying to be the best of both. And for this game, we were really able to deliver that as a baseline performance mode. There's no mode of this game that has the ray tracing turned off because there's no need for it. And we've really figured out how to deliver what we feel like is the right Spider-Man picture and visuals, and we want to make sure every player is seeing that.
Every player is going to be seeing the same
In
thing.
this demo here,
basically.
there's one cinematic where Miles and his mother are having a conversation before you go off and do some Spider-Man stuff. And Bobby, our animation director, was pointing out that there's not a lot of dialogue in that scene. So much of that story is told from their faces and the way they're emoting and reacting to things from each other. And that's really new for us in this game, that we've been able to do that. You know, we're scanning faces with more fidelity, and we've built out more of our processing pipelines to handle that in more detail. Certainly our models are more dense than they have been in the past. And there's some scenes in this game that have 4, 5, 6 main characters on the screen at the same time. That's really challenging for my team to optimize and get running in frames sometimes, but it really opens us up to tell more complex stories with these characters.
Here to pick up a serum order for a Dr. Connors?
We have a whole team of folks who, especially in those cinematics, are very carefully constructing lighting rigs, you know, to light the characters from the right way for every individual shot. If you could see it without the camera changing, you'd be surprised at how much changes between every shot to get it just right, just right. You know, we definitely expanded on it from a tech point of view. Certainly in the demo, you saw Craven, who has a luscious, hairy in a bunch of ways. But it's, you know, more affected by physics and wind and feels a lot more cohesive. I think MJ's hair, as you've seen, is some
And her hair's
long
down,
hair.
and it's beautiful.
Hair's down, and that
Jealous
is
of MJ's hair.
not to be understated. From a challenge point of view, I think in games you so often see female protagonists and characters with hair that's up, because that's way easier to animate and deal with.
Yeah.
And sort of have it low and over the shoulders and need to behave correctly as she turns her head and all that was
That's
a challenge, but
cool to think about.
it was a fun challenge. Yeah.
You sort of have your tried and true skyscrapers in
deep.
Manhattan, and once you get to cross the river, which is an experience on its own, hopefully use the web wings to do that and experience the speed at which you can do that. You get over to our Spider-Man stomping ground, so you get to visit, you know, Aunt May's house and explore in Queens and get that more sort of neighborhood feel, and it's, you know, lush trees. And then, you know, for Brooklyn, you get Brooklyn Visions, and Miles is sort of like high school stomping ground, and that really comes across in some of the activities and the adventures you can have in these neighborhoods.
It's cool. Queens has a very residential feel to it that's a little different from parts of Manhattan. Brooklyn has its own landmarks. Of course, we're excited for players who know Brooklyn or familiar with the area to find unique buildings that they recognize from our New York.
The great thing in this story is we sort of have these established characters. You know both of our Spider-Men. You hopefully love them. And they're at different points in their lives. Miles is, you know, facing what does he do after he graduates high school, and what is the next step in his life as becoming an adult, and what he wants to pursue.
Super stressed about my college essay. Pete's busy doing other stuff.
For Peter, right, he's struggling after the passing of Aunt May, and how to constantly balance those duties of paying the bills and being a Spider-Man. And once we add in the symbiote and Craven showing up into this story, we really get to experience the way in which those challenges really manifest and affect our Spider-Man. So hopefully when you played, you saw how the black suit is maybe affecting our normally quite wholesome Peter Parker, and you got to experience how Miles is able to approach the conflict in his life right now, and maybe not having as much confidence about knowing what he's doing next. I'm blown away by some of the way we were able to bring the symbiote to life. The symbiote powers that Peter has in the black suit have a very visceral and powerful feel to them, both visually and while you're playing. I think that experience is going to sort of put you in the shoes of, do you want to take that black suit off, or do you want to sort of give in to that power?
The process of understanding what the symbiote would look like and how it would behave pretty much took the entire development of the game, I think, because it impacts everything else. You know, if you make it look too watery, well then Venom's kind of weak.
Yeah.
If you make it too solid, then he's like a weird octopus. And it needs to be gooey, and we don't have ways to animate these crazy ways that this substance might behave throughout the game. So it really went from animation tools, animation techniques, material treatments from a technical art team, how environment was like laying things out, and it's really just like super multidisciplinary to bring it into a cohesive whole.
Are you kidding me, Connors?
Well, I think we know we have a really strong foundation from the first couple games, and we're not trying to change for change's sake. There's a lot that people love about these games that make them Spider-Man games. It's about understanding what that is, and then ways to try something different and make it new. And as you add new things, you got to make sure they fit together in the right way.
And I think our team is also normally very excited at the opportunity to continue to innovate. I think, you know, we want to satisfy people, make sure they're happy with their experience. We're not straying too far from something that they know and love, but we want to surprise them and we want to give them new toys. So in a lot of ways, it's almost like, what would be cool? Could we add something like this or something like that? And we also have, you know, an open and collaborative team. And I think that that goes a long way into some of the best ideas come from the most unexpected place on the team. And you end up with these really delightful moments that bring that sort of fresh perspective and change to something like the third game in a series.
Hopefully you got a sense with the web wings how it's not about, okay, we have wings now and that's the new mechanic. It's about how do they fit with swinging? How do they add to each other to create, you know, new fun ways of going around the city and really build up even what was great about the first game or the first two games as you're adding something new. Man, I'm just excited for people to play, and I hope they have a great time. You know, a lot of care and love and, you know, effort went into this game from a whole lot of people who've been working really hard on it, and I'm just excited to see all of that realized for players.
We love seeing the reactions of the players, and we want people to have a great time. So every time we release anything, it really does give us good energy to hear people's thoughts and feelings and excitement, and really does keep us going. So I hope everyone is satisfied and they loved what we did.
So that's all we know about Spider-Man 2 so far, releasing on October 20th, PS5 exclusive. If you're excited, if you're ready to play this, let us know in the comments. And if you liked the video, hit the like, subscribe, get us to 300 subscribers, and catch this live on Twitch at Heatwave Streams. You don't want to miss it. As always, catch you in the next.